Hello, beautiful people, and welcome back to another episode of Two Girls, One Doc.
One Doc.
It's your girl, BD.
It's Foreign's the fiance.
And we are back. We were not back last week because life and also technical difficulties. But we're back this week. But then we're not back for another 2 weeks. Because again, technical difficulties. It's just, guys, I don't know. It's just a lot trying to record. What is it? Across the equator or the pond or whatever it is.
Yeah,
that we're
and it's the
doing at this
particular
time.
equator that's the problem. I mean, that's not correct. That's geographically correct. But like, if I was recording in like any other country, it wouldn't be that bad. But just like Nigeria. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's wild. As in the delay we're experiencing right now is actually wild. Like I literally am so focused trying to catch everything that this is saying. Like you guys don't even know.
I literally could like sing a song in the delay. Like I could sing a whole like cater to you in the delay that there is in this like video right now. The struggle is real.
Hold tight trying to sync whatever singing we do. Boy. But yeah, so after today's episode, which is coming out on, what is the date that this is coming out on? Is it the 15th? Mm-hmm. This should be coming out on the 15th. Yeah, cool. The next episode that you will get from us will be out on the 5th of August. Just because, you know, too much of a good thing is not always great, you know? Mm-hmm. And also because we can this is so long. So basically Foreign's will be back by then and we can begin recording again. Oh, hopefully in person as well. That would be fun.
Yeah. Are you really going to
bring in alcohol to each other?
Are you really going to trek to Northwest?
What? Is that, you acting like I don't have reasons to be there. I'll just combine the times.
I mean, yeah, but it's going to be a weekly thing. So are you weekly going to come?
No. Are you not going to come here at times, no? Is that not in your
I mean, it is, but I'm carless. So my mum keeps telling me her car doesn't go to...
You have access to a car. You know when you're buying car insurance, they say...
Do you have access to another car? Yeah. No. My mum keeps telling me that her car doesn't go to certain postcodes. So, yeah. I'll have to see if the postcode is one of the forbidden.
Well then, if anything.
She just doesn't like me driving long distances in her car. That's what it really comes down to. But yeah, in person.
In person via FaceTime. All right, guys. Anyway, so yeah, next episode is going to be the 5th of August. Sorry to start this on such a downer. I know you guys will be sad, but it means that you will enjoy this episode even more because it's the last one for a couple of weeks. Okay?
Yeah. Savor it like fine wine.
So, what are we doing today?
We are doing Outrage. And also, before we get into it, like, I just feel like energy levels feel like they're going to be low. But it's nothing to do with the documentary. It's nothing to do with both of us. It's just the complexities of not being able to have, like, a normal conversation. Like, I say stuff that's ordinarily funny, and BD should laugh. But then I have to wait, so 30, 40 seconds for a reaction. And by then, I'm just like, what the fuck am I doing?
Fam, I have to wait for the laugh. And I'm like, rah, did it not bang or what?
So yeah, and also like my ear is like,
what is happening?
My ear is like blocked and it keeps like popping, like, and I'm just like, what?
Why is it always blocked?
Because I've had an infection in that ear and like it's just reoccurring now. So every like year around like July, August,
it's just like recurring, right?
Yeah.
That's
did I say reoccurring? Recurring, yeah. Why did I say that? Okay. Cool.
Wow.
So today,
the blood of Jesus.
Today we're doing Outrage, and this documentary was a documentary.
Was it a documentary?
No.
Do you know what it is? What it is it just was kind of like a bunch of people answering questions to the camera about stuff. Like, I don't know, like maybe that is what a documentary is. I don't know, but it's just something about it just felt very homemade. Okay, and fair enough. This was produced. I say produced. I use that word very, very lightly,
loosely.
But it was produced in 2009. Yeah, it was like 2009, it was very hickey hagger. Like, I mean, they got their point across, so I guess, you know, as the viewer, fine, I kind of got it. But it was kind of like, okay, I don't know. It was somehow, it's on YouTube if you want to watch it. It's called Outrage 2009. But it was somehow.
I don't advocate anybody watching this documentary, and this is not a slight or slander to the person that recommended it, because the person that recommended it I love, and I loved the actual content. And no, I didn't love the content. I loved the idea, but the execution was so shit. Like, it wasn't even like people. Yeah, like, it wasn't even
the
people
answer.
like
That is it. I feel like
it wasn't even people like answering questions. It was just a jumble of crap. Like, I don't know what they were thinking. They should have followed.
You know how sometimes we say like, oh, it's a bit higgy hagger.
Oh God, this
was very higgy hagger. Like, they didn't follow not one train. Like, nothing was to completion. It was like lots and lots and lots of foreplay, but then nothing. Like, at the end, you didn't even come. Like, it was just so useless. You just look at yourself and you're like, what was any of this? What was any of it for? It's like they're leading you down all these multiple little trails of things, but then nothing. Like, nothing. It's like,
it was an hour and a half
and then
of
nothing.
cock teasing.
Literally cocks. The cocks
like,
were
there's
teased.
such a thing as too much foreplay. Like, there's actually such a thing.
Sometimes that's why it's the 4, because it's before and there was no after, and it was just like
there was 4 and no play.
Yeah, very strange. There was 4 and no play.
Okay, cool. So the documentary opens like, oh God, okay, let me actually be serious, because like, yeah, I'm pissed off, but let me actually, yeah. Okay. I'm just happy that we both equally dislike the doc, because sometimes I dislike it and you're like, no, it was fine, and I'm like, this was garbage. But it's good that you hate it too. Yeah. So
Yeah.
the quote unquote documentary opens.
It was, and I also feel like this coupled with our like technical issues and like just the longness of actually recording. Yeah, I feel like because this documentary was the way that it was very much like guys, we're recording this on Monday and this is coming out on Thursday. Like, we never normally, this has been recorded. Do you know what I mean? But it's like, no, there was no desire. There was no desire. And then there's also no desire to watch it again before the delayed recording, because it was kind of like, there was no need. But literally, I think this would be a great episode because we have many thoughts.
Yeah, it was kind of like a car crash where like you can't stop looking, but you want to look away, and then when you've seen it all, you don't want to remember it. That's what it was. Because I literally came into recording and I was like, wait, I don't even remember what the fuck I watched. What did I watch again? Like,
yeah.
It was traumatic. I don't want to revisit it.
Do you know what is so funny about this recording situation that we're in right now? Yeah, is that like the lag is so bad, yeah, that like I have to like stare at Foren's eyes to make sure that she blinks, just to know that it's not frozen, because I literally am just looking at her and I'm just like, I'm like, wait, am I supposed to be hearing something now or not? Like, do I react? Do I speak?
Ciao. This is the ghetto.
This is the ghetto. Ratata. Like, literally.
No, it's the ghetto.
Chile. But yeah, sorry. I'm so sorry. Yeah. So we don't want to relive it, but here we are reliving. Go ahead.
Here we is. Cool. So this documentary opens up, I say quote unquote documentary, opens up and it's telling us about American politicians living in the closet and like those who escaped. So basically that's what the documentary is about. And to be honest, like the documentary could have just ended there. It could have just been like some American politicians are in the closet, some have come out, and it would have been like, it would have been better than all the shit we ended up watching. Like, genuinely, like it would have been better. So we see this like compilation of Republican Senator Larry Craig, who had been arrested, and he does a press conference apologizing. And at this point, we're not really like 100% sure what he got caught doing. And then it goes on to tell us that basically he had been caught soliciting like sex in a hotel, like bathroom. And basically he's been living in the closet. And it's really funny though, because the other day I was watching this documentary. No, not documentary. I was watching this show on Netflix. It's called Paradise PD, and like it's really like overtly sexual at times. And basically, like
in that cartoon.
Yeah. You know me, like big mouth, all that shit. Like I lap it up. And basically, like,
Yeah. I think I started watching that, you know.
what, Paradise PD?
Yeah, ages ago, and I just never
Oh,
went back
follow
to
it
it.
through.
But it's like a cartoon, and it's like an adult cartoon
Yeah,
on Netflix,
follow it
right?
through. Yeah, follow it through, follow it through.
Okay, I will. I've been looking for something new. I just went back and restarted Modern Family. But yeah, no, I'll watch this.
Guys, the camera is so pixelated right now. BD looks like she took her picture on like a landline. I cannot. I cannot.
On an Android.
Android Insta story. Yeah, so basically, I say all this to say, yeah, they had this episode
There's
with
shit emojis.
they had this episode of Paradise PD where they were like talking about like senators that were in the closet or whatever, and it was funny. It reminded me of this dreadful documentary. But yeah, so basically, we meet one of the young boys that Larry has had sex with. And basically, the boy is just explaining how it went down, how he met him and he paid him and told him that he needs to keep his mouth shut because basically, like, he can ruin him in this town at like a snap of a finger and all of this. And like basically, there's so many laws like impacting the LGBT community that Larry has voted against. Basically, like I've been saying basically a lot, but yeah, Larry has voted against because he's Republican, and Republican doesn't mean you have to be a bigot or an idiot or whatever, but they tie, and we learn a bit more about this in as the documentary goes on, but
Right.
they tie a lot of their principles
But many
to the
times
church.
it does.
They tie a lot of their principles to the church, and so therefore like they latch onto that principle of like, yeah, don't be gay or whatever. So now again, this is what I mean, it just jumps like from place to place. Like
It really
I
does.
get whiplash from this documentary.
Honestly.
So we meet Larry, like Michael Rogers, sorry, and he's a gay activist. Yeah. And he's a gay activist who is working on outing Republican gay politicians. And he's had like he's
What do you
spoken
feel
to-
about this? How did you feel about this?
I was in two minds because, yeah, nobody should be outed. Everybody deserves the right to come out as they please. But if you're actively doing something that is harmful to a community that you, in a sense, belong to and almost profit off of, and like they get their sexual gratification from the LGBT community, but then you're putting in these laws that are harmful, then you should be like, people should know, like gay men who sleep with you, or bisexual men, or people in the LGBT community who like sleep with you, deserve to know that they're sleeping with someone who's potentially harmful to their lifestyle. And I think that's, from that aspect, it's actually fair enough. I don't know, it's tough.
Yeah. I mean, I think I agree. I mean, I don't think it's right to out anybody. Because I think that's like a big deal. Do you know what I mean? Like, let somebody tell their story. But then also, like you said, you are actually detrimental to the LGBTQIA community, of which you are a part of, whether you want to deny it or not. Because it's not as if like you have feelings of being gay or you're attracted to men and then you kind of force yourself not to act on them. Like, you are literally like with other men in the community. So like there are actually like faces to the feelings that you have. Do you get what I mean? This is the person. So when you're voting against all these bills that would benefit gay people, you literally know of that. You're literally, even if you do not see yourself as one, you literally are like taking advantage of people who, your vote like
Affects.
compromises. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just very, it's very like,
very weird.
Have self-hate, like
self-hate on 100. So so Michael Rogers basically have met like 2 or 3 men who've slept with Larry, and he's also outed another congressman called Ed Truck. Doesn't that remind you of The Office?
It's not Ed Truck, it's Ed Schrock, but you have taken the office and you've made him Ed Truck. It's Schrock.
Wait. Oh, was it?
In the documentary, his name is Ed Schrock. Yes.
Oh shit.
In The Office, you literally have like amalgamated the two.
I'm gonna stick with truck. But yeah, and basically we hear like
Okay.
recordings of this guy on like gay sex lines trying to solicit sex, and subsequently he drops out of running for re-election. But like he never comes out and is like, yeah, that's me, like let me live my truth. Which is very wild. Like you got caught red-handed, like 4K, like what, like just come out and be like, yeah, I'm gay. Like I guess everybody should come out when they want to, but it's a bit ridiculous to say it's not you when we can literally hear your voice.
I think that also this just shows like the deep-seated like hate for the fact that they're gay, and also the fact that they know that I would rather not even be in the race than to concede that I'm actually gay and let people know that. Like that just goes to show how big of a deal it is to them in their minds, like how bad that they think it is, or they know how badly they'll be treated as a result.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think they're all like full of shit and they're all idiots, yeah. But then also it's kind of like, eesh, like you really are like, I don't know, like
you played yourself.
You really hate yourself.
Yeah. So Michael says,
I'm going to tell people who these horrible traitors are. And they are traitors to their people. I believe that. And I felt that it was time for me to start reporting that as hypocrisy. Not outing people who are gay, but reporting on individuals who are working against the community that they then expect to protect them.
Which is absolutely like true in the sense that like, if I came out today and I was like, yeah, like I'm vegan activist, like vegan leather, only eat like fake chicken, cauliflower chicken, all of this, great, cool. And I make all this noise about people who eat meat and stuff like that. And then I go on holiday and I start eating a burger. Like, it's hypocrisy. And I'm not saying it's the same thing, like being outed as non-vegan as opposed to like your actual sexuality. Yeah. But I understand that angle of it, especially as what you are doing is negatively affecting like a marginalized group. Like it's actually, it's wild. Yeah.
Exactly. Like it's so much worse than that example that you give. Yeah. I think the example is a good comparison in terms of like you being a hypocrite kind of thing.
Yeah.
Obviously, like when you're gay, like literally it's not your choice because these men would definitely have chosen not to be gay if they could. But yeah, I think it is you literally are harming the people that you're sleeping with. Like you're harming yourself, but then also you're not really accepting of that part of yourself. So I guess in your mind you're not really harming yourself. So maybe you can live with that one.
Yeah.
But then it's like you are harming the people that you are like, because some of these guys are like in relationships with guys, and it's like, how am I gonna sleep with you and be in a relationship with you, knowing that like you're doing everything in your power to make sure that we don't succeed or we don't like thrive as a people, as like you said, as a marginalized group, like very strange.
It's actually crazy. So some of the talking heads are split at this point. They say that they feel sympathy for those who are being exposed, and like similar to what we've said before, like nobody should be outed. Like it's a personal journey. You out yourself when you come out, rather when you feel comfortable. And others are like, like they're hypocrites. Like they're making rules against gay people when they're gay themselves, and it's negatively impacting the community. So like, go for gold, basically. So now we meet Charlie Crist, who's a Republican senator, and he's like strongly against gay marriage. Did you think this guy was gay?
Do you know what? I literally am just looking at you and I'm just smiling because I can't hear shit. Like last thing I heard you say was Charlie Crist, and I've not heard anything since then.
No, so did you believe he was gay?
Guys, I'm so sorry. This is such a... Oh yeah, he's gay.
Oh, okay, cool. I don't think there was anybody on this like documentary that came out was like, oh, you're gay. And I was like, oh no. Like I was like, yeah, they're all gay. Like 100% all gay.
Yeah. Yeah, of course he's gay. He is, yeah.
Yeah,
he's gay. It's like, he's gay, sir. We know. It's okay.
It's like you're in a glass closet. Like who like doesn't know that you're gay? Like what are you doing?
Literally.
So we meet an alternate journalist who reports basically stories the mainstream media would not. And he was the one who broke this story about Chris being gay. And he also like ropes in the guys like he had allegedly been with, but this story doesn't go far. Like a lot of people don't pick it up, and then him and the guys that like come out and say yeah they've been with him are the ones that receive like the backlash. And nobody should receive backlash for being gay, but I guess the outing the outation did not have the desired effect, which was to be like, you're a hypocrite. So so basically now there's a discussion on the documentary about how it's kind of like the importance of outing these closeted politicians, because basically the public often mirrors what their leaders do. So like they go into like the discussion about the Ronald Reagan administration and how it brought about many closeted gays. And these closeted gays then went on to ignore the AIDS epidemic in America. And it's the same thing, like if you've watched that documentary on Netflix, Crack, it's very similar. Like Ronald Reagan administration full of white, old Republican men ignoring the crack epidemic in minority areas, thus leading to what happened. And I think this is a really good thing to raise because it's something you directly see. I think sometimes when people talk about, the inequalities faced by gay people, like they can't get married, they can't have kids kind of thing. I mean, you think to yourself, like not me personally, but people say, it's not life and death. And also it's not something you can physically see. Like you can't physically see the pain someone goes through because they can't adopt a kid or because they can't marry the person they love. But when people are literally dying from a disease that the government refuses to do anything about because it's quote unquote the gay disease, this is something you physically can see.
Affects.
This is something you physically see.
Like lives are being lost.
Yeah.
Like in numbers,
Literally. And so it's not saying that other stuff doesn't affect gay people. I'm just saying that this was really in your face, and it shows how like the laws and the people who are in power matter when it comes to these minorities.
If you don't care about this, and if you don't want to do better with this, then it's like, do you even care about these people? Like, do you see them as human? Because if there was a disease that was ravaging children or whatever, you would definitely be like, okay, cool, let's sort this out. So clearly you don't see them as lives that deserve to be like saved, which is really, really sad and very stupid.
Yeah, and guys, I just want to point out, when I said I think I said gay disease, I had quotation marks, but you guys can't see me. So I just want to point out, I don't believe it's like a disease that only affects gay people. I had the quotation marks because that's the way those people think. But you guys can't see me.
Sis.
No, don't be saying they know. Because when they pull this snippet out and come and say, I got to clarify, okay? But yeah.
Fair.
So
Context.
So basically, the talking heads are now discussing how this AIDS epidemic and closeted gays caused like a genocide, and that was deadly to the LGBT community. And there's this particular senator, Ed Koch, who, is that how it's pronounced? Is it Koch or Koch? I don't know. It's Koch. You can call it Koch, you can call it Cock. I really don't give a fuck. So he was violently...
Let's call him Cock.
Because he's a dick.
I don't even have his name written down for him.
So he was violently against gay rights and, helping during the AIDS epidemic. And multiple talking heads are able to recount his lovers. And there was one in particular called Richard Nathan, who basically was threatened by Ed after they broke up and had to leave New York. And basically he ended up dying from complications with AIDS. And it's just wild. And the reason I brought this up is because, again, this is the direct chain. Like, you can see it.
Yeah, you can see it.
You are a closeted senator who makes laws that do not protect people in minorities, specifically LGBT. They are dying from a disease that if you helped, they would be surviving. Your lover then dies. So it's like...
They would not be dying, exactly.
Literally, like you said, like they're face to face with these people and they don't care. Like it's mad. And I just hope you guys understand. This is what I mean about this documentary jumping, because as I'm narrating it to you, this is what we are seeing. It's not like they go on to like tell us more about
right now.
Fam. It's not like they go on to tell us more about one senator or this or that or the third. It literally just goes, 1 minute we're talking about Ed, the next it's another, then it's this, then it's that. It's not straight. I don't know what it was almost like, when people send you those
and there's
creepy...
nothing to completion. Nothing to completion.
You know when people send you those creepy letters in the mail where they like cut out different letters and put it together on a paper?
Yeah.
This is the documentary
The ransom
equivalent.
notes.
Oh,
Yeah,
God.
agreed.
So now we meet Senator Jim McCreary. We don't meet these people, but they introduce them. And he would scout fraternity houses looking for young men to sleep with. And he started off his political career as a Democrat. He was all for like LGBT laws. He was atheist. And then suddenly he becomes Republican, Christian, and marries and has a kid. And it's just like that... I don't know if you've seen that clip where the guy is like, oh yeah, like I've been cured from like the gay, like this is the vibe I'm getting from this guy. Like he's been saved from
Delivered.
Yeah, delivered, literally. Like, you know, also, it reminds me of Santana.
I am delivered.
It reminds me of Santana who was like, yeah, when he's 50,
Yeah, come on,
he's just going to
put some
stop being
Santana's
gay.
name, man.
That.
Santana's saucy with it.
I mean, yeah, he is saucy with it, but that was just like that day I was actually dying. Like, what do you mean when you get to 50? It's just not like what you're gonna do.
Funny.
Like, it's time to grow up. But yeah,
I was gonna say, yeah, I'm done. I've had enough dicks.
Oh God. So now the talking heads are talking about how the journalists themselves have remained closeted. And again, this was so fucking irrelevant. Like, it was just like, why did we have this, like, snippet in here? And then we hear about, like, this guy called Shepard Smith who was gay and then he was outed. And, yeah. So we're in Washington. And everyone's talking about how Washington is so gay and everyone's in the closet.
Literally, yeah. Like, okay.
We didn't even catch a flight. We didn't even check our bags. Suddenly we're in Washington somehow. And it's not just Republicans that are like on the down low, Democrats too. And then this guy like Barney Frank from the House of Representatives says he started off closeted for 20 years. And then we jump to Jim McGreevy, who comes out after having an affair with a man. So Jim was a really interesting one because he says...
And so you deny this thing, but what happens is it comes out. And it comes out in dark places. You begin to believe that it is shameful because you're acting, for me, in shameful ways. I mean, where am I having sex? I'm having sex in back alleys of abandoned synagogues. I'm having sex on rest stops. Well, the fact is my straight friends were, picking up their girlfriends in bars and at parties and doing it wherever. I didn't have that opportunity to do it in public ways that were healthy, that were safe, and that were accepted. And so by doing it in secret, closeted ways, I believe it is unhealthy for the psychology, it is unhealthy for the being, and it was unhealthy for my soul.
And this is such a... I found this probably the best bit of the whole documentary because he basically says that all his single friends were having healthy relationships, meeting people at parties, bars, dating apps, whatever, going on dates, getting to know each other. And he had to be meeting people in seedy areas, having sex, trying not to get caught. And
in secret, yeah.
That's when it becomes shameful because you are ashamed of it. And this shame comes from shameful messages. And I think this is why it's so important for people to be comfortable in their sexuality, and not to feel shame. I mean, there are other reasons, but this is definitely one of them. And basically,
and I think for other people to allow other people to be comfortable as well. Because I feel like it's a thing where it's of course, so you're attracted to men, but you're not allowed to be gay. All your romantic or sexual relationships with the kind of people you want to be with are shrouded in shame. You can't just hold hands and walk down the street. You can't just tell your friends, on my days, he messaged me this, or da-da-da. The normal things that you would have in a normal relation or accepted relationship, you can no longer do. So it I feel like that just taints. It puts a bitter taste or a negative spin on whatever situation or relationship or encounter that you're going to have because you just know that, cool, this isn't okay and I shouldn't be doing this. So how can anything flourish? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. So we're back to Larry, and after his scandal, he's on news saying he's not gay, he's not bi, and he does not agree with that lifestyle. And it's just ridiculous. You were caught red-handed.
Lifestyle,
what are you even talking about? So why were you soliciting a man in a bathroom? Were you buying cookies from him or what?
Exactly. For what reason? For what reason? Was it weed for you to buy it all?
So one talking head says, for a lot of closeted gays, it's easier to align yourself with groups that are against these people, which is something we know. It's
what the coons do, isn't it? They want to align themselves with the whites to feel I'm I'm not like them blackies.
Yeah.
I'm better.
Yeah. So one of the talking heads also says that the feeling in the closeted Republican community is that the gay people who are out of the closet are weak. Like, it's like they didn't have the stomach to stay in the closet, so they have to push their sexuality onto others. Like, rather than you
on
to
other
have the
people.
strength to stay there, repress it, to conform and be that strong guy, you then have to come out and be gay and, you know, take the quote
I'm
unquote easy
proud.
road. And straight people don't shove their sexuality down other people's throats, so why should gay people?
Yes, they fucking do.
And literally, I was just about to say, yes, they fucking do. Everything you see is so, like, sexualized, and it's always heterosexually sexualized.
Yeah, even to kids, you'll see a little boy, oh, he's going to break so many hearts. Oh, he's going to be a heartbreaker. Oh, have you got a girlfriend? Like, you're in school and they ask you these stupid things. So what's the
Honestly.
difference between me saying to a little boy, oh, have you got a boyfriend?
Literally.
But now it's wrong. Okay, but then if surely we don't sexualize anybody, nobody should be having any friends. Do you know what I mean?
Literally.
Everyone should just be facing their books.
Literally. Like
the moment you come
parent said.
to any gay somehow, all of a sudden you're trying to push your agenda. What does that even mean?
Yeah. And basically, it's just the desire to align with heterosexuality. So we meet Jim McGreevy's ex-wife, and basically she says she had no clue that he was gay. They dated for 4 years before marrying. They had a great sex life. There was no indication that he was gay. So it's 2007.
Maybe he's bi.
Maybe. I believe he's bi, because for you to have like a
good sex life.
Yeah, I think he's bi. Yeah.
Either that or she's lying and the sex life wasn't good. Either way.
So it's 2007 in Florida, and Charlie Crist is chatting shit. He's been nominated as governor, and basically he's the first bachelor, so the media is like focusing on his dating life. We learned that Chris was married for 6 months previously, and now his ex-wife is with a woman. So it kind
Did
of
somebody
sounds
say
to
beard?
me,
Beard?
it sounds to me like they had an arrangement. Why they didn't just keep that arrangement, I don't know. But she
Right.
obviously was ready to come out of the closet.
She fell in
and
love.
he was trying to keep her in it.
Maybe she met someone who provided a safe space for her to be free.
Yeah. So Chris went on to date multiple people and then denied being gay. And so basically the documentary then touches on politics in the church and how the Republican Party has this unholy alliance with the church. And their common, I guess, enemy is the LGBT. Like, it's an easy target. It's something the church preaches against. So to align themselves with the church, they preach against, you know, LGBT. I mean, there are other things as well, like abortion rights and so on and so forth. But yeah, like LGBT, like, communities is an easy one.
But that makes sense. They're very much in the same vibe.
Yeah, the same, like, sexual whatever vibe.
Obsession.
And we see like a montage of violence against the LGBT community after Bush's announcement to stop same-sex marriage, and like just the sheer homophobia of Bush's campaign. And I was too young to remember this, but I can only imagine that this must have been a thing, because how can you as a president come and say like, yeah, I'm gonna like stop people in LGBT community or same-sex marriage? Like, the thought of somebody actually coming out and doing that right now is flipping wild to me. Like, how can you come out and say this?
What the fuck? What's your own?
I would marry at your doorstep if it was me. I'm that kind of petty. So now we touch on Mary Cheney. She's the daughter of VP Dick Cheney, and she's an openly gay woman. And she has a partner. Like, she's in a relationship with a woman, and she supports her father's and Bush's campaign and their campaign for re-election. And basically everyone's saying like, yeah, like she really could have made a big change. Like, you were there, you saw all the policies and everything, and you basically supported these people and you led them to re-election knowing that they were harmful for, like, you know, your community. And like, there's this thing of her in an interview, I think it's with Jimmy Fallon or something, and she's
your community, literally,
and she's basically saying that, yeah, like, she talks to her dad about some of his policies, and it's like, yeah, you talk to him. So if you know that his policies are shit and they are harmful, why the fuck are you supporting his campaign? Like, what are you actually, like, on about? What the fuck are you doing?
Exactly. And does he really support you if all the laws that he's putting through and passing do not benefit you? But I cannot imagine my black dad putting laws in place that are detrimental to me as a black woman. What?
And then
do you
I'm
rate me or
coming out
not?
to say,
Because
this
that's what
is
is
my
happening.
dad.
And then me supporting him, saying, yeah, with shit braids, being like, yeah, my dad supports. Blah, blah, blah. No, that made no sense.
Literally. So, Jim Coble
They
and
always have
James...
shit braids.
Jim Coble and James Grevy, yeah, they talk about how freeing it was to come out and how, like, you know, it's much better than living in a closet and you're able to just be yourself, which obviously I agree with, and is something that everybody should have the opportunity to experience. We're nearing the end of the documentary now, and it's 2008, and it's 6 weeks from McCain choosing
Thankfully.
his VP running mate. And Chris is like gearing up to be, you know, picked. And so like everyone's like, yeah, he suddenly goes on off and gets engaged. And people basically see it as a bid to get to the VP office, because there's no way like he would get there, especially in the Republican Party. He's an unmarried man. So he's doing this to quickly like get picked. So in 2008, August, Chris supports the amendment, the Second Amendment, which is for making marriage only for men and women. And then in December of 2008, he marries. He obviously isn't elected or picked, and obviously we know that McCain does not go on to become president. The documentary basically is now literally really coming to an end, and it says gay people do not have rights. That's why it's so important that we have that we know about these relationships in the people's lives as it affects politics, which is true. On-screen text tells us that Chris has appointed 2 Florida Supreme Court judges who are strongly opposed to gay marriage, and he supports the ban on gay adoption. And that is somebody who will never know peace.
I think...
And that's the end. Thankfully.
Bruh. I do think that, as we said, this was this documentary quote unquote came out in 2009, so I'm sure that there have been like leaps and bounds in terms of the LGBTQIA community and rights since then. So I mean, that's a positive, but also the mindset of these people is definitely a negative, and it's kind of like, babes, what's your own? Just be free, be happy. It's only yourself that you're doing, and also the whole community, low key. So.
And also the documentary was craps. I know we've said that, but I just want to say it again. Don't watch it. We've basically summarised it. And I can't emphasise enough, like, how it was summarised is how the documentary was. It was jumping from place to place, taking us on trips with no passports.
Yeah.
Like...
It's probably more ordered the way that you did it.
Yeah. So, yeah, like we said, we're going to have a break.
Wild. Very wild.
I don't know if we know what we're doing next. Could be a surprise.
Yeah.
We're
gonna have a break because too much sugar gives you cavities. No, we know what we're doing next. I just don't remember what it's called. Basically, it's about VR sex, so virtual reality sex. Do you remember?
Yeah.
You picked that one.
Yeah. I remember that one now. I'm interested. I'm intrigued. I mean, we've done a lot of doll sex, so like men and dolls. So I'm interested to see virtual reality sex. Not to see it.
Yeah, but this is like no dolls involved, I don't think. Yeah,
I know, no dolls allowed.
Well, I would like to see it.
I would like to see it. Okay, you play the trailer.
Guys, thank you so much for your patience with us. Honestly, I feel like you guys are really our ride or dies. And we appreciate.
We really do.
Yeah.
Thank you for rocking with us thus far.
We sure do.
Okie dokie.
Yeah, I'm going to play the trailer for you guys.
Where can the people find us?
We're Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, TikTok at 2girls1doc with an underscore at the TikTok one. They can find you on Twitter 402 underscores, and at your other podcast, Character Replay. And you can find the trailer right after this, and yeah, you can find us also again on the 5th of August. So set your calendar clocks, and we'll have an episode for you then. And
we'll
it will not be such a lag. Oh, I really hope I can edit out this lag because, boy.
All right, guys.
All right, boys and girls.
Bye.
Bye.
My name is Tiger Drew Honey. Like pretty much everyone I know, I'd find it impossible to imagine living without my smartphone. But now a new bit of technology is coming that could be a total game changer for everything. From how we hook up with our mates to how we have sex.
What's it like coming back into the real world?
You don't have to worry about anything when you're in that world. Everything was so fun. Whoa. A new generation of virtual reality headsets will be available to buy in the next couple of months.
This is an Oculus Rift.
I'm an actor, and both my parents were involved in the porn industry, so I reckon I'm pretty open-minded. But I had absolutely no clue what to expect when I explored virtual reality.
Back in the room? Almost like magical.
I had my own avatar created. That was amazing. And tried my luck with a droid designed to be a lover.
You can have me any way you want.
Fun girl.
And I even found out what virtual sex actually feels like when I went all the way with a machine.
That is going to feel weird.
In a sense, do you think it might be the start of a slippery slope for, like, human interaction?
Well, if it is, you better wear some skis.
Virginity is the state of a person who has never engaged in sexual intercourse.